Imagine this. A huge industrial complex, real marvel of modern engineering, suddenly grinding to a halt. But not because of some big system failure or human error. Something, something biological. We're talking about a nuclear power plant. Massive. Stopped in its tracks by jellyfish. Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into this pretty astonishing incident over at Gravelines in France, where, this exact thing happened. We want to look at how something so seemingly small could cause such a huge disruption. And then maybe zoom out a bit, look at why this isn't just some, bizarre fluke.
Yeah.
It's actually becoming a surprisingly common issue. And what that tells us about, our world, how interconnected everything is. This is your shortcut to understanding this fascinating mix of nature and tech.
Yeah, it's really compelling, isn't it, how a seemingly simple biological thing can create these incredibly complex problems for, critical infrastructure. It really shines a light on an unexpected vulnerability, something we're maybe only just starting to properly understand.
Right. So let's get into the details. Gravelines. What exactly happened? The immediate specifics are pretty striking. You had this massive jellyfish swarm, apparently totally unexpected, just descend on the plant there in France. And this huge sort of gelatinous mass got sucked into the plant's intake systems. So the way it caused the disruption was, pretty simple really, but incredibly effective. These jellyfish got caught up in the filter drums for the cooling system.
Ah, right, the filters.
Exactly. Those filters are crucial. They handle enormous amounts of water needed to cool the reactors. And, the jellyfish just clogged them solid.
And the consequence of that, pretty direct, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Immediate and significant. 4 of the main reactors automatically shut down. Just like that, as a safety measure.
4 of them, yeah.
Yeah, and it happened fast. It started late Sunday night, and by Monday morning, the 4th reactor was offline too. And it's worth noting, 2 other units there were already down for maintenance.
So this hit almost everything that was actually running at the time. Pretty much, yeah. A huge chunk of their active generation capacity.
Okay, the big question, obviously, is safety. People hear nuclear plant shut down, they get worried. What did the operator, EDF, say?
Right. EDF was very quick to get the message out. They confirmed there was absolutely no threat. No threat to the plant safety, none to employees, none to the environment.
Okay.
The problem was purely operational. They just needed to get in there and clean out those filter pumps so they could start things up again.
So a massive disruption to power generation for sure, but not like a meltdown risk or anything like that.
Exactly. Huge headache, huge cleanup job, but not a catastrophe in the safety sense.
And to really get a sense of how big this disruption was, you need to understand Gravelines itself, right? This isn't some small facility.
No, not at all. It's actually one of the largest nuclear plants in Western Europe. A real giant.
Okay. How much power are we talking about?
Well, it has 6 reactors. Each one can produce 900 megawatts.
6 times 900. Hey.
That's a total generating capacity of 5.4 gigawatts.
5.4 gigawatts. That's an enormous amount of electricity.
It really is. To give you some perspective, that's enough to power a city maybe the size of Marseille. So yeah, taking a chunk of that offline because of jellyfish, it's pretty remarkable.
It really is. So, okay, that's the what and the how. But this brings us to the why. Why are these huge swarms happening? This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Definitely. Experts are looking at a few converging factors, especially for why jellyfish numbers seem to be booming in places like the North Sea. One major factor is rising sea temperatures. That seems pretty clearly linked to climate change. Warmer water often means better breeding conditions for jellyfish.
Makes sense. What else?
Well, there's also things like overfishing.